Come closer. Listen. Do you feel it? That quiet hum beneath the noise of the everyday. It's the sound of longing. Perhaps it's the specific weight of bills unpaid, the dream deferred, the persistent ache of not enough. You've worked hard, haven't you? You've followed the advice, visualized, affirmed, strived, and yet the abundance you seek feels like a distant shore, receding with every stroke you take towards it. The world tells you to push harder, shout louder, chase faster. But what if the secret isn't in the chasing, but in the stillness? What if the most potent force for attracting wealth isn't found in frantic action, but in a quiet, internal shift? Welcome. You have been drawn here, not by accident, but by a resonance. You are ready to hear about a law so fundamental, yet often overlooked, that it operates like a hidden current beneath the river of reality. It's whispered in ancient texts, felt in moments of profound synchronicity, and experienced by those who stumble upon its power, often without knowing its name. This is How to Manifest Money Now, the arcane law that delivers wealth instantly. The title itself holds a key, arcane, meaning understood by few, mysterious or secret, and instantly, suggesting a connection that bypasses the slow crawl of conventional time and effort. We will journey together into the heart of this mystery, unveiling what I call the law of resonant echo. It's a principle suggesting that your outer world doesn't respond to your actions as much as it instantaneously mirrors the silent frequency of your inner state. It proposes that the universe isn't a distant entity you must plead with, but an immediate, reflective field that echoes back the truth you hold within. This audiobook is not a scheme for quick riches through external manipulation. It is an invitation to an inner alchemy, a deep dive into the power of your own consciousness. We will explore how to cultivate the inner state that effortlessly calls forth the outer reality you desire, particularly the flow of financial abundance. Prepare to unlearn the struggle and awaken to the silent power already residing within you. Let the journey into the resonant echo begin now. Part 1. Awakening the Echo. Imagine standing before a perfectly still lake at dawn. The surface is flawless, a mirror reflecting the sky, the trees, the very essence of the world around it. Now, imagine your inner world, your thoughts, feelings, deepest beliefs is the landscape. And the outer world, your physical reality, including your financial situation, is that lake. The law of resonant echo posits this simple, profound truth. The outer world is an immediate reflection, an echo of your inner state. Not what you say you want, not what you strive for, but what you fundamentally are in your quietest depths. We are taught to push, to project, to send our desires out into the universe like arrows shot into the distance, hoping they hit a target. But this law suggests something radically different. It suggests the power isn't in the projection, but in the source. The universe isn't judging or deciding, it's simply reflecting. The most potent signal you can send is not a loud declaration, but the unwavering frequency of your internal being, held in stillness. Think of it. A shout across the lake creates ripples, distorting the reflection. But a silent, steady inner landscape creates a clear, unwavering mirrored reality. This inner silence, this focused internal state, is where the true magic of manifestation lies. It's not about forcing the mirror to change, it's about becoming the image you wish to see reflected. Let me share the story of Ilara. She was a potter, living in a small village where clay was abundant but coin was scarce. Ilara possessed great skill, yet her pots rarely sold. She worked tirelessly, her hands shaping the clay, But her mind was filled with the noise of lack, the worry about rent, the frustration of unsold wares, the comparison to other artisans. She tried techniques learned from books, positive affirmations, repeated like a mantra, visualizing stacks of gold, yet her shelves remained full, her purse light. One day, exhausted and defeated, she sat before her wheel, the clay wet beneath her hands. But instead of forcing a shape, she simply closed her eyes. She didn't try to silence her thoughts of lack, but she stopped feeding them energy. She just sat, breathing, feeling the cool clay, the spin of the wheel, the quiet air in her small studio. In that stillness, a different feeling arose, not a demand for perfection or success, but a simple connection to the earth beneath her, the clay in her hands. It wasn't a thought, but a feeling, a quiet resonance with the material itself. She began to work again, not from a place of needing to sell, but from a place of quiet communion with her craft. Her hands moved differently, guided by an intuition she hadn't allowed herself to hear before. The pots she created that day were different, imperfect by conventional standards, yet alive with a unique energy, a certain wabi-sabi beauty. She placed them quietly on her shelf, without expectation. A few days later, a traveler, a collector of rare crafts, passed through the village. He was drawn to Ilara's studio, not by any sign, but by a feeling. He saw the new pots and was captivated. He bought them all, paying a price far exceeding what Ilara had ever dreamed. He didn't praise their perfection, but their soul, their echo of something authentic. Ilara realized the echo wasn't created by her striving, but by the stillness, where she finally allowed her true resonance to emerge, and the universe simply reflected it back. Now, let us practice connecting with this mirror. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or standing. Take a few gentle breaths. For the next 5 minutes, simply observe the world around you. If you are indoors, notice the objects, the light, the sounds. If outdoors, observe nature, the sky, the distant noises. Do not label, judge, or analyze. Simply witness. As you observe, gently ask yourself, without needing an immediate answer, what aspect of my inner state might this outer scene be reflecting right now? Is there a sense of clutter or peace, busyness or calm, lack or abundance in the small details? Don't force connections. Just hold the question lightly. The goal is not to find flaws, but to cultivate the awareness that the outer is intimately connected to the inner. Let the universe whisper back to you through the mirror of your reality. Just observe. Just be aware. What if I told you that wealth isn't something outside of you that you need to acquire, hunt down, or earn through struggle? What if wealth, like love or peace, is fundamentally a vibrational frequency? The law of resonant echo works on this principle. It doesn't respond to your need for money, it responds to your resonance with the frequency of abundance itself. Think of a radio. You don't create the radio station's broadcast, you simply tune your receiver to the correct frequency to hear the music. Similarly, abundance is constantly broadcasting in the universe. The task isn't to create it, but to tune your inner state, your thoughts, emotions, and core beliefs to its frequency. How does one tune into the frequency of wealth? It's not about pretending or faking it till you make it in a superficial way. It's about genuinely cultivating the feeling of abundance now, regardless of current external circumstances. What does wealth feel like to you? Is it freedom, security, joy, ease, generosity, peace? Accessing these feelings, embodying them in your present moment, is how you begin to vibrate at the frequency of wealth. The universe, acting as that perfect mirror, then has no choice but to reflect back circumstances, opportunities, and resources that match that frequency. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Feeling wealthy, peaceful, and Secure now in your inner world, sends out the resonant signal that abundance is your natural state. Consider Reese, a city dweller who tended a small balcony garden. He dreamed of lush greenery, vibrant flowers and fresh herbs, but his reality was struggling seedlings in dry, depleted soil. He watered, fertilized, read gardening books, yet everything seemed stunted, mirroring his own feelings of frustration and lack in other areas of his life. He felt like he was fighting the garden, willing it to grow. One evening, sitting quietly on his balcony, discouraged, he remembered hearing about the idea of frequency. He decided to try something different. Instead of focusing on the lack, the poor soil, the weak plants, he closed his eyes and tuned into the feeling of a thriving garden. He imagined the rich scent of damp earth, the vibrant colors of blossoms, the satisfying weight of harvested vegetables. He didn't just visualize it. He felt the gratitude, the peace, the quiet joy of abundance already present. He started doing this daily, spending a few minutes feeling the reality of his flourishing garden as if it were already true. He stopped fighting the plants and started sending them feelings of appreciation for the life force they held, however small. A week later, something unexpected happened. His apartment building announced a surprise community initiative. They were providing residents with free, high-quality organic soil and a new, efficient watering system for balconies as part of a greening project. Suddenly, Reese had the perfect conditions for his garden to thrive, an echo of the inner abundance he had cultivated. The resources didn't come because he struggled, but because he shifted his frequency to match the outcome he desired. Let's tune your frequency now. Close your eyes gently, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, release any tension around the idea of money. Now bring to mind the feeling of having more than enough financial resources. Don't focus on the specific amount, but on the essence of what that represents for you. Is it a feeling of profound peace? A sense of absolute freedom to choose? The joy of generosity, the security of knowing all needs are met? Choose one core feeling associated with wealth for you. Breathe into that feeling. Let it expand in your chest, your belly, your entire being. Hold this feeling for a few moments, not wanting anything, simply being this frequency. Feel the peace, the freedom, the joy, the security. Know that this frequency exists within you right now. You are tuning into it. Practice this for a few minutes daily, anchoring yourself in the feeling of abundance. In our world, silence is often perceived as emptiness, an absence. We rush to fill it with noise, distractions, endless chatter. But in the context of the law, of resonant echo, silence is not empty, it is potent. It is the fertile void, the receptive canvas upon which the universe paints its reflections. This is sacred silence. It's not just the absence of external noise, but a quieting of the internal clamor, the relentless stream of thoughts, worries, judgments, and desires. Why is this silence so crucial? Because it's in this space that your true, underlying, vibrational frequency can be felt most clearly, both by you and by the reflective universe. When your mind is constantly busy, projecting wants, fears, and plans, the signal you send out is chaotic, like static on the radio line. The universe reflects back this chaos, maybe glimpses of what you want mixed with manifestations of your fears and anxieties. But when you enter sacred silence, you allow the noise to settle. You create a space of pure potential. In this stillness, the subtle frequency of your core beliefs and feelings, the frequency of abundance you cultivated in the previous chapter, for instance, can resonate without interference. It's like letting the muddy water settle so you can see the clear reflection at the bottom. The universe doesn't need your loud instructions. It needs the clarity of your silent being. Sacred silence is the sanctuary where your inner state solidifies, becoming the clear tone that the law of resonant echo can perfectly mirror back to you as tangible reality. Lena was a playwright, known for her sharp wit, but lately her well of inspiration had run dry. Deadlines loomed, producers called, but her pages remained stubbornly blank. The more she tried to force ideas, the more blocked she felt. Her mind was a whirlwind of pressure, self-doubt, and the echoing emptiness, where creativity used to flow. Frustrated, she retreated to a small, isolated cabin by a lake, intending to write without distraction. But even there, the mental noise followed her. She paced, she stared at the blank screen, she berated herself. Finally, surrendering, she pushed the laptop away. She decided to simply be in the silence. She sat by the window, watching the gentle lap of water against the shore, listening to the wind in the pines. She didn't meditate in a formal way. She simply allowed the silence of the place to seep into her. She didn't try to conjure ideas. She just listened. Listened to the absence of city noise. Listened to the rhythm of her own breath. Listened to the quiet hum of the natural world. Days passed like this. She felt calmer, less frantic. Then, one morning, sitting in that familiar silence, an idea surfaced. Not a fully formed plot, but a feeling, a theme, the echoes of the soul, how unspoken feelings and hidden beliefs shape our lives. It arrived not as a lightning bolt, but as a gentle upwelling from the quiet depths she had finally allowed herself to access. The words began to flow effortlessly, not forced but received. Her play, born from that sacred silence, became her most profound and successful work, resonating deeply with audiences who felt the truth it echoed. Let us create a small sanctuary of silence right now. Commit to starting your day before engaging with the world with just 5 minutes of sacred silence. Find a quiet place to sit comfortably. Close your eyes. Don't try to stop your thoughts, but don't engage with them either. Imagine them like clouds drifting across the sky of your awareness. Your focus is simply on the silence behind the thoughts, the stillness beneath the mental chatter. Feel the sensation of being present in your body. Listen to the subtle sounds in the room or the silence itself. Just be. No agenda, no goal, other than to inhabit this quiet space for 5 minutes. This simple practice creates a powerful foundation for your day, allowing your true resonance to emerge before the noise of the world rushes in. Make this a non-negotiable part of your morning. Why is this law described as arcane, and how can it possibly work instantly? These words challenge our conventional understanding of reality, which operates on linear time, cause and effect, and tangible effort. The law of resonant echo feels arcane because it bypasses these familiar mechanisms. It operates at the level of energy, consciousness, and vibration, the fundamental substrate of reality that quantum physics is only beginning to explore. It's arcane because its workings are subtle, internal, and often invisible to the rational mind, conditioned to look for external causes. The instant nature doesn't necessarily mean that if you shift your inner state at 9:12 a.m., a bag of money will materialize at 9:01 a.m. Rather, instantly refers to the immediacy of the universal response at the energetic level. The moment your inner resonance shifts, the mirror of the universe instantly begins reflecting that new reality back to you. The physical manifestation might take moments, hours, or days to coalesce in a way your senses can perceive, guided by what we'll later call divine timing. But the energetic shift and the universe's corresponding echo are immediate. Think of it like flipping a switch. The electrical circuit responds instantly, even if the bulb takes a fraction of a second to fully illuminate. Your inner state is the switch. This bypasses the need for elaborate plans, arduous labor, or long waiting periods often associated with achieving financial goals. The power lies in the immediate correlation between your inner frequency and the universal field. Your aligned inner state is the golden key, instantly unlocking the door to the corresponding reality. You don't need to build a door or pick the lock. You simply need to become the key through your state of being. Consider the tale of an old merchant in a bustling Silk Road city. He had built a vast fortune, only to lose it all in a series of misfortunes, a shipwreck, a dishonest partner, a sudden drought affecting his trade routes. He was left destitute, overwhelmed by despair and the seemingly insurmountable task of rebuilding. Friends offered advice: borrow money, find new routes, work harder than ever. But the merchant felt a deep weariness. Instead of rushing into action fueled by panic, he retreated to a small, quiet room. He didn't pray for riches or lament his losses. He simply sat, day after day, seeking not wealth, but an inner state he remembered from his prosperous times, a feeling of deep security, trust, and quiet confidence. He focused on cultivating that feeling within himself, regardless of the empty coffers outside. He wasn't denying reality. He was choosing his resonant frequency. One afternoon, as he sat in this state of cultivated inner abundance, there was a knock at his door. It was a man he vaguely recognized, the servant of a nobleman he had befriended years ago but had lost contact with. The servant carried a heavy pouch. "My master passed away recently," the servant explained. "In his final instructions, he recalled a significant loan you generously gave him long ago, which he was never able to repay during his own difficult times. He insisted this debt be honored immediately upon his passing." The sum was substantial, enough to not only restore the merchant's finances, but to provide a comfortable foundation for the future. The echo of his cultivated inner security manifested instantly in the form of this forgotten obligation being honored, bypassing all conventional means of regaining wealth. His inner state was the golden key. Now, let's gently examine the beliefs that might be blocking this immediacy. Take a piece of paper or a journal. At the top, write, "Beliefs about money needing time and struggle." Now, allow yourself to freely write down any thoughts or beliefs that come to mind related to this. Examples might include: you have to work hard for money, wealth takes years to build, quick money is suspicious, I need a detailed plan first, it's unrealistic to expect fast results. Don't censor yourself. Get them all out. Once you have your list, simply read through it. You don't need to fight these beliefs, just acknowledge them. Then, for each belief, gently ask, is this absolutely true in all circumstances for all people at all times? Or is it just a common story? Simply opening the door to questioning the absolute nature of these time-bound beliefs begins to loosen their grip, creating space for the instant potential of the law of resonant echo. Imagine trying to push a beach ball underwater. The harder you push against its natural buoyancy, the more forcefully it pushes back, and the more energy you expend in the struggle. This is what happens when we resist our current reality, especially financial lack. Non-resistance, a key element in allowing the law of resonant echo to work, isn't about liking or condoning your current situation. It's about ceasing the energetic push against it. Why? Because whatever you resist, you inadvertently focus on. When you constantly fight against lack, lament your debts, or resent your empty bank account, the primary frequency you are emitting is the frequency of lack, debt, and emptiness. The universe, being the faithful echo, dutifully reflects more of what you are resisting. Non-resistance is the act of dropping the rope in this tug-of-war with reality. It's saying, okay, this is the situation right now. This acceptance isn't Passive resignation. It's a powerful, energetic stance. It stops feeding energy to the unwanted reality. It quiets the reactive noise, creating the necessary stillness for a new resonance to emerge and be reflected. When you stop pushing against the current situation, you free up enormous amounts of energy. This energy can then be used to consciously cultivate the inner state you do desire. You shift from being a resistor, echoing lack, to becoming a resonator, echoing abundance. It's a subtle but profound shift from fighting the reflection to changing the source. There was a gifted musician named Kai who played the flute with breathtaking skill in the city's subway tunnels. His melodies were hauntingly beautiful, capable of stopping busy commuters in their tracks. Yet Kai barely scraped by. He felt a deep bitterness, resentment towards the passers-by who didn't drop coins, anger at the agents who ignored his demo tapes, frustration with a world that didn't seem to value his art. His music, though technically brilliant, was tinged with this undercurrent of resistance, this silent cry against his circumstances. He was constantly pushing against the reality of his financial struggle. One day, an elderly woman paused to listen, truly listened, for his entire song. When he finished, she didn't give him money, but simply said, "Your music fights too hard. Let it breathe." Her words struck him. He realized he wasn't just playing music. He was playing his struggle, his resistance. That evening he went to a quiet park instead of the subway. He sat under a tree and began to play, but this time, with a different intention. He decided to stop resisting his situation for just a little while. He accepted, just for that moment, that this was his reality. He let go of the need for recognition or money and simply played for the sheer joy of the notes, for the feeling of the breath flowing through the instrument, for the connection with the silent trees and the evening air. He played with a sense of release, of acceptance. A few days later, while playing in his usual subway spot, but carrying this newfound sense of non-resistance, a woman approached him. She was the curator of a small but prestigious art gallery, known for its intimate concerts. She had heard him play briefly before, but found his energy too sharp. Today, she said, his music felt different, open, inviting, resonant. She offered him a series of paid performances at the gallery. The opportunity didn't come when he was fighting his reality, but when he finally stopped pushing against it and allowed his true, unobstructed frequency to echo. Let's practice this gentle art of acceptance. Identify one specific aspect of your current financial situation that you feel strong resistance towards, perhaps a particular debt, a low income, or a feeling of scarcity. Bring it gently to mind. Now take a slow, deep breath in. As you exhale, silently say to yourself, with as much neutrality as you can muster, "I accept that this is the situation right now." Breathe in again. Exhale, repeating, "I accept this, just for this moment." Feel the tension in your body, the energetic push against this reality. Soften slightly with each accepting exhale. You're not saying you like it or want it to stay. You're simply dropping the energetic struggle against what is. Do this for a minute or two. Whenever you feel resistance arise, notice how it creates a subtle space, a quiet opening for a new resonance to emerge. Part 2. Deepening, activating the echo. Desire is natural. The longing for a more abundant life, for financial ease, is not something to be ashamed of or suppressed. However, the way we hold that desire dramatically affects the echo we receive. The law of resonant echo responds not to desperate craving or loud demands, but to the quiet, steady conviction held within. Think of your desire for wealth not as a raging fire you need to shout about, but as an inner flame, a warm, gentle, persistent light held securely within the sanctuary of your sacred silence. A raging fire consumes energy rapidly, creates smoke, and pushes outward frantically. This often translates to anxious striving, broadcasting neediness, and amplifying the feeling of lack. The universe echoes this frantic energy. An inner flame, however, burns steadily, calmly. It provides warmth and light from within. It represents a desire held with trust, patience, and quiet knowing. You nurture this flame not by shouting its existence to the world, but by tending to it internally, feeding it with feelings of gratitude, belief, and the frequency of abundance you've already begun to cultivate. Keeping your core desire somewhat private, held within this sacred silence, protects it from the doubts and limiting beliefs of the outside world. It allows the desire to solidify its resonance without interference, becoming a clear, unwavering signal for the universal echo. Consider Anya, an artisan who crafted exquisite scented candles. Each one was a work of art, infused with unique botanical blends, yet her small shop saw few customers. Anya spent hours talking about her dreams, telling friends how much she wanted success, complaining about slow sales, visualizing overflowing cash registers with a desperate intensity. Her desire was a wildfire, fueled by anxiety. She felt exhausted, her energy scattered. One day, she read an old parable about tending a sacred temple flame, keeping it steady and pure, shielded from the wind. It resonated deeply. She decided to change her approach. She stopped talking constantly about wanting wealth. Instead, whenever she thought of her desire for her business to flourish, she pictured it as a small, steady, golden flame within her heart. She consciously sent it feelings of love, trust, and appreciation for the beauty she was already creating. When worries arose, she gently acknowledged them, then returned her focus to tending this quiet, inner flame. She poured her energy into the craft itself, enjoying the process, infusing the candles with this calm, trusting energy. She didn't run ads or push sales aggressively. A few weeks later, a lifestyle blogger, known for discovering unique artisanal products, wandered into her shop, drawn by the peaceful atmosphere and the subtle, beautiful scents. She was captivated by the candles and the quiet passion Anya radiated. Her subsequent blog post went viral, describing the candles not just as products, but as vessels of tranquility. Orders flooded in, not because Anya had shouted her desire, but because she had nurtured it as a silent, resonant inner flame, and the world responded to its warm, inviting glow. Let's practice tending to your own inner flame. Find a quiet moment, perhaps before sleep or during your sacred silence practice. Close your eyes, bring your awareness to the center of your chest, your heart space. Now visualize your core financial desire as a small, steady flame burning gently there. See its warm, golden light. It's not frantic or demanding. It's calm, consistent, and self-contained. Now silently feed this flame. Send it feelings of trust. Send it feelings of appreciation for its steady light. Send it the feeling of knowing that its nature is to illuminate. You don't need to tell it how to bring abundance. You just need to nurture its essence with your belief and positive feeling. Do this for a few minutes regularly. Hold your desire not as a desperate plea, but as a cherished sacred flame within. You can practice feeling wealthy, nurture your inner flame, and maintain sacred silence. But if your deep-seated core beliefs contradict your desire, the echo you receive will be mixed, hesitant, or non-existent. Aligned belief is the state where your conscious desires, your subconscious programming, and your emotional state are all singing the same song. The law of resonant echo doesn't respond to wishful thinking or affirmations plastered over doubt. It responds to the net sum, the dominant vibration of your entire belief system. If you consciously affirm, "I am wealthy," but subconsciously believe, "I don't deserve it," or "money is hard to come by," the subconscious belief, often holding more energetic weight, is what gets echoed back. Achieving aligned belief isn't about forcibly erasing negative beliefs, which often creates more resistance. It's about bringing awareness to the misalignment, gently questioning the limiting beliefs, and consciously choosing to give more energy and focus to the beliefs that support your desired reality. It's about cultivating an inner environment where the belief in your inherent worthiness and the possibility of effortless abundance feels more true, more resonant than the old stories of lack and struggle. When your core conviction truly aligns with the frequency of wealth, that conviction becomes the clear, powerful signal that the universe instantly echoes. Your belief isn't just a thought. It's the energetic blueprint for your reality. Kyle was an amateur inventor, his small apartment cluttered with half-finished gadgets and brilliant ideas sketched on napkins. He consciously desired financial success to fund his projects and share his inventions with the world. He practiced visualizations and felt the excitement of potential breakthroughs. Yet venture capitalists ignored his proposals, and small funding competitions yielded nothing. Deep down, Kyle carried a persistent, nagging belief instilled since childhood. You're clever, but not quite good enough. Success is for other people. This belief acted like static, interfering with the signal of his conscious desire. During a period of quiet reflection, prompted by his consistent lack of results despite his efforts, Kyle confronted this core belief. He didn't fight it, but he observed it. He saw how it colored his interactions, how it subtly sabotaged his confidence during presentations. He began a practice. Each day, in his sacred silence, he wouldn't just visualize success. He would consciously connect with the feeling of his own inherent creativity, the spark of ingenuity within him, separate from any external validation. He started acknowledging his small, daily inventive successes, fixing a leaky faucet with a clever hack, finding an elegant solution to a coding problem. He focused on the truth of his creative nature, letting that feeling grow stronger than the old belief. One day, while tinkering with a seemingly unrelated household problem, a revolutionary idea for energy efficiency struck him. Simple, elegant, powerful. Because his inner belief system was now more aligned with his creative worth, he presented the idea with a quiet confidence he hadn't possessed before. He wasn't seeking validation. He was sharing something he knew had value. He secured funding almost immediately, not because the idea was suddenly better, but because his belief in himself and his creation was finally aligned, creating an undeniable resonant echo. Let's gently probe the alignment of your own beliefs. Take your journal again. Write down your primary financial desire clearly at the top of the page. Now sit quietly for a moment and tune in to how that statement feels. Below your desire, create 2 columns: aligned thoughts, feelings, and misaligned thoughts, feelings. Really list everything that comes up in response to your stated desire. Aligned examples might be, it feels possible, I'm open to receiving, excitement, peace. Misaligned examples could be, but how? Fear, doubt, I don't deserve this. It seems too easy. Be honest and non-judgmental. This exercise isn't about fixing anything right now. It's about increasing your awareness of where your beliefs are aligned and where there might be internal conflict. Recognizing the misalignment is the first crucial step towards gently shifting the balance towards conviction. Our minds often grasp abstract concepts more easily when anchored to something tangible or visual. To help maintain the resonant frequency of abundance and strengthen aligned belief, we can create a personal echo symbol. This isn't a magical talisman in the superstitious sense, but rather a physical or mental anchor, a focal point consciously, imbued with the feeling and knowing of your desired state. It serves as a silent, constant reminder, bypassing the noisy conscious mind and speaking directly to your subconscious and the universal field. This symbol can be anything deeply personal and meaningful to you. It could be a small object you find in nature, a smooth stone, a unique feather, a particular seed. It could be a simple geometric shape you draw, something that intuitively represents flow, abundance, or receptivity to you. It could even be a purely mental image you cultivate and hold in your mind's eye. The power isn't in the object or image itself, but in the resonant state you consciously link to it. Every time you see, touch, or think of your echo symbol, it acts as a shortcut, instantly reconnecting you to the feeling of wealth, the sacred silence, and the trust in the law of resonant echo. It's a private agreement between you and the universe, a subtle reinforcement of the frequency you are choosing to embody. Consider Matteo, a talented writer struggling to sell his novels. He understood the principles of inner state, but found his frequency easily swayed by rejection letters or dwindling savings. He felt he needed a constant, quiet reminder of his connection to the flow of creativity and abundance. One day, while walking by a river, he noticed a small, smooth, dark stone with a single unbroken white line running through it. It felt significant. He picked it up, its coolness grounding in his palm. He decided this stone would be his echo symbol. Back home, he held the stone during his sacred silence practice. He consciously poured the feeling of completed manuscripts, appreciative readers, and easy financial flow into the stone. He visualized the white line as the unwavering current of abundance running through his life. He didn't worship the stone, he used it as a focal point. He placed it discreetly on his writing desk. Whenever doubt crept in or frustration mounted, his eyes would fall upon the stone, or he would simply touch it. Instantly, the practiced feeling of calm, creativity, and financial ease associated with it would resurface, helping him shift back into his desired resonance. Not long after, an editor who had previously rejected a manuscript contacted him out of the blue. She'd been thinking about his unique voice and had a new project she thought he'd be perfect for. The offer was generous, aligning perfectly with the feeling Matteo had anchored to his echo symbol. Now let's create your own anchor. You don't need to be an artist for this. Take a piece of paper and something to draw with. Enter a state of quiet contemplation for a moment. Ask yourself, what simple shape or image represents the feeling of effortless abundance and resonant flow for me? Let an image surface naturally. It could be a spiral, a circle within a circle, a wave, a seed, a stylized star, or something entirely abstract that just feels right. Don't overthink it. Draw this simple symbol. As you draw, infuse it with the feelings we've practiced: peace, freedom, security, trust in the law of resonant echo. Once drawn, keep this paper somewhere private where you can see it occasionally, or simply commit the image firmly to your memory. Use this symbol as your personal anchor. When you see or think of it, let it instantly reconnect you to your chosen frequency of abundance. Tuning into the frequency of wealth isn't solely about focusing on money. Abundance is a holistic principle. The universe echoes your overall sense of richness or lack. One of the most powerful ways to amplify your abundance frequency is to practice recognizing and feeling the wealth that already surrounds you in non-financial forms. When you genuinely appreciate the simple riches of your current existence, you send a powerful resonant signal of, I have enough, I'm provided for, life is generous. This feeling naturally attracts more experiences of abundance, including financial ones. Think about it: the warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of fresh water, the comfort of your bed, the sound of laughter, a moment of peace, the beauty of a flower, the support of a friend, your own health and breath. These are all forms of wealth, often taken for granted. By consciously acknowledging and feeling gratitude for these simple, present moment riches, you shift your dominant vibration away from lack and towards sufficiency. You begin to perceive the world through a lens of abundance, recognizing that you are already immersed in it. Imagine your consciousness like the endless sky, vast, open, and capable of holding everything. Lack-based thoughts are like clouds, passing through. By focusing on the abundance already present, you identify more with the unchanging, inherently abundant sky, rather than the transient clouds of perceived scarcity. This expanded awareness of present wealth creates a powerful resonant field. Maya was a single mother, working a demanding, low-wage job. She felt perpetually trapped in a cycle of scarcity, her thoughts constantly circling around bills and what she couldn't afford for her son. Her world felt small and constrained by lack. One evening, utterly depleted, she sat watching her son sleep, his face peaceful in the soft lamplight. A wave of overwhelming love and gratitude washed over her. Gratitude for his health, his laughter, this quiet moment of connection. It was a feeling of profound richness that had nothing to do with money. Inspired, she decided to consciously hunt for these moments of non-financial wealth every day. She started noticing the taste of her morning coffee, the warmth of a hug from her son, the kindness of a neighbor offering help, the satisfaction of a clean kitchen, the beauty of the sunset viewed from her window. She kept a small gratitude journal where she jotted down these simple riches. Slowly, her overall feeling state began to shift. The constant anxiety about money didn't vanish overnight, but it lessened, replaced by a growing sense of underlying sufficiency. She felt less contracted, more open. Then, unexpected things started happening. Her boss offered her slightly better hours with the same pay, easing her childcare stress. She found a forgotten gift card while cleaning. A community program offered a subsidy for her son's after-school activities, freeing up some cash. These weren't huge windfalls, but they were tangible echoes of her shifting inner state, her growing awareness of the abundance already present in the simple things. Let's practice hunting for treasure right now. Commit to this practice for the next week. Each day, actively look for and mentally note down at least 3 things you experienced that made you feel genuinely wealthy or abundant in a non-monetary way. This could be anything: a beautiful moment in nature, a feeling of connection, a sense of accomplishment, physical comfort, peace and quiet, laughter, health, a simple pleasure. The key is not just to list them, but to pause for a moment with each one and truly feel the richness, the gratitude, the abundance it represents. This practice trains your mind and your energy field to recognize and resonate with abundance in all its forms, making you a more powerful magnet for more. You've cultivated your inner state, aligned your beliefs, perhaps even glimpsed the first subtle echoes. But then, sometimes there's a pause. The manifestation doesn't appear on your schedule. Doubt creeps in. Is this really working? This is where understanding and trusting divine timing becomes crucial. Divine timing isn't passive waiting. It's an active trust in the infinite intelligence of the universe. It's the understanding that the echo returns not necessarily when your ego demands it, but at the perfect moment for your highest good and growth, often in ways more ingenious and beneficial than you could have planned. The law of resonant echo is instantaneous on the energetic level, but the coagulation into physical form follows a rhythm that serves the whole intricate tapestry of reality, including your own soul's journey. Sometimes a delay allows necessary inner shifts to occur, or external circumstances to align perfectly. Trying to force the timing comes from a place of distrust and lack, the very frequencies you're trying to move away from. Trusting divine. Timing means maintaining your resonant frequency of abundance and peace, knowing the echo is on its way, even if you can't see it yet. It's releasing the how and when to the universe, focusing instead on being the state you wish to experience. This trust itself is a high vibration, signaling to the universe that you are open and receptive to receive in the most harmonious way possible. the manifestation often arrives suddenly, unexpectedly, like a delightful surprise when you've truly let go and trusted the rhythm. Consider Jian, a talented chef who poured his life savings into opening a small, intimate restaurant. He curated the menu with love, created a warm ambiance, and felt deeply aligned with his vision of sharing culinary joy. He practiced feeling successful, maintaining his sacred silence, trusting the law. Yet, for the first few months, business was painfully slow. Doubts gnawed at him. He saw neighboring restaurants bustling and felt the pressure mounting. He was tempted to slash prices, run gimmicky promotions to force success. But something held him back. He remembered the principle of divine timing. He chose with effort at first to trust. He continued focusing on the quality of his food, the warmth of his service, and maintaining his inner state of quiet confidence and gratitude for the few customers he did have. He kept tending his inner flame of passion for cooking. One rainy Tuesday evening, when the restaurant was nearly empty, a solitary diner came in, seeking refuge from the storm. She served him with his usual care and quiet passion. The diner ate slowly, thoughtfully. At the end of the meal, he introduced himself. He was a notoriously discerning, highly influential food critic for a major city newspaper. He had stumbled upon the restaurant completely by chance. He was deeply impressed by the food, the ambiance, and Jian's calm dedication despite the emptiness. His glowing review, published later that week, lauded the restaurant as a hidden gem and praised Jian's quiet confidence. Overnight, the restaurant was flooded with reservations. Success arrived, not according to Jian's anxious timetable, but at the divine timing that allowed for the perfect messenger to appear, amplifying the echo of his sustained inner state far beyond what any forced promotion could have achieved. Let's practice releasing the timeline. Whenever you feel impatience, doubt, or anxiety about when your desired financial abundance will manifest, pause, take a breath. Gently place a hand over your heart. Silently or softly, repeat this mantra. Everything comes to me at the perfect time according to divine harmony. I trust the rhythm of the universe. My echo is on its way. Repeat it slowly, feeling the resonance of the words. Let the feeling of trust wash over you, releasing the need to control the timing. Focus on maintaining your resonant state now, knowing that the when is unfolding perfectly. Use this mantra as an anchor whenever the temptation to doubt the timing arises. Part 3. Mastery becoming the echo. We've journeyed through understanding the law of resonant echo, tuning our frequency and trusting the process. Now, we arrive at a crucial stage of mastery, living as if. This isn't about reckless spending or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about making choices, carrying yourself, and interacting with the world from the inner state of the person who already embodies the abundance you desire. It's the natural outward expression of the inner alignment you've cultivated. If you truly resonate with the frequency of security and sufficiency, how would you walk? How would you speak? What small decisions would you make differently today? Living as if means operating from a place of trust, not fear. It might mean choosing the slightly higher quality coffee because you feel deserving, not deprived. It might mean speaking with calm confidence about your work or projects, assuming value rather than begging for validation. It might mean planning that future trip, researching destinations with genuine excitement, knowing the resources will align rather than dismissing it as an impossible dream. This isn't about delusion. It's about embodying the energetic reality. You are aligning your actions, however small, with your resonant frequency. When your inner state and outer demeanor reflect the reality of already having, the universe receives an incredibly clear and coherent signal. The echo becomes sharper, faster, more undeniable. You are no longer just asking for the reflection. You are being the reflection you wish to see. Serafina was a quiet librarian who dreamed passionately of traveling the world, but her modest salary seemed an insurmountable barrier. She constantly told herself, maybe someday, when I have more money. Her desire felt distant, conditional. After learning about resonating with her desired reality, she decided to try living as if her travels were already funded. Not by buying tickets she couldn't afford, but by shifting her inner posture. She started researching her dream destination, Italy, with joyous intent, not wistful longing. She borrowed travel guides from her own library, learned basic Italian phrases online, experimented with cooking Italian recipes. She created a travel vision board filled with images that evoked the feeling of being there, the art, the food, the landscapes. She started walking with a little more confidence, imagining herself navigating Florentine streets. When making small daily choices, she'd ask, how would the version of me who travels freely approach this? Often it meant choosing quality over quantity, or opting for experiences that felt expansive rather than contractive. She wasn't spending money she didn't have, but she was inhabiting the energy of her dream. One day, a library patron she occasionally chatted with mentioned a cultural foundation offering travel grants for library professionals to study abroad. Serafina had never heard of it. Encouraged by her as-if mindset, she applied, pouring her genuine passion and research into the application. Weeks later, she was astonished to receive a grant, not enormous, but enough to fund her dream trip to Italy. Her consistent embodiment of the traveler energy created the resonant echo that drew the perfect, aligned opportunity to her. Let's try stepping into this reality for a day. Choose one day in the upcoming week to consciously practice living as if your core financial desire is already your reality. Again, this is not about irresponsible spending. It's about your inner state and small actions. How would you carry yourself? Would you stand taller, speak more calmly, interact with others from a place of generosity or ease? Perhaps you treat yourself to a slightly nicer lunch, not because you're rich, but because you're embodying a feeling of deservingness. Maybe you tackle a task you've been avoiding with a sense of competence rather than dread. Pay attention to the small choices, the tone of your voice, your posture, the thoughts you entertain. For this one day, consciously choose the thoughts, feelings, and subtle actions that align with the version of you who is already living in financial ease and abundance. Notice how it feels. This practice strengthens the neural pathways and energetic signature of your desired reality. If sacred silence creates the clear space for resonance and aligned belief provides the core signal, then gratitude is the powerful amplifier that magnifies the echo, drawing more abundance toward you with increasing speed and intensity. Gratitude is far more than polite manners. It is a vibrational frequency of the highest order. When you genuinely feel thankful, you are energetically stating, I recognize the good I have received. I am open to receiving more. I acknowledge the flow of abundance in my life. The universe, operating under the law of resonant echo, responds powerfully to this frequency. Feeling grateful for what you already have, whether it's a small financial gain, a helpful opportunity, or the non-monetary riches we discussed earlier, signals that you are aligned with receiving. It shifts your focus definitively from lack to sufficiency. It's like saying thank you for a gift before it's fully unwrapped, demonstrating faith and appreciation. This vibration of thankfulness acts like a magnet, attracting more experiences, people, and resources for which to be grateful. It doesn't just maintain your desired frequency, it actively strengthens and expands it, accelerating the manifestation process. Consistent, heartfelt gratitude is one of the most potent practices for becoming a powerful resonator for wealth. Consider Aaron, a skilled carpenter whose workshop was filled with beautiful handcrafted furniture, but whose order book was often thin. He worked diligently but often felt overlooked and underpaid. He focused on what he lacked: more clients, higher prices, greater recognition. His energy felt slightly heavy, tinged with complaint. He decided to try integrating gratitude more consciously. He started small. At the end of each day, he took a moment in his quiet workshop to genuinely thank his tools for their service. He expressed silent gratitude for the grain and texture of the wood he worked with. When a small payment arrived, instead of thinking it's not enough, he paused to feel truly thankful for that specific amount, for the client who trusted him. He began thanking his workshop space, the electricity that powered his saws, even the sawdust under his feet representing his productive work. This wasn't a forced exercise. He cultivated a genuine feeling of appreciation for the elements of his craft and livelihood that were already present. His energy shifted. Customers started commenting on the good feeling in his workshop. Referrals increased. People seemed more willing to pay his requested prices, appreciating the care and positive energy infused into his work. One day, a designer known for high-end projects visited, initially just browsing. She later told Aaron she chose him not just for his skill, but for the palpable sense of gratitude and respect he had for his craft, an energy she felt was missing elsewhere. His consistent, quiet gratitude amplified the echo of his skill and passion, attracting the abundance he desired. Let's amplify your echo with gratitude. Each night, just before falling asleep, take a few quiet moments. Let go of the day's worries. Now bring to mind 3 specific things related to money or abundance that you experienced during the day, for which you can feel genuinely grateful. Perhaps it was finding a coin on the street, receiving a compliment on your work, enjoying a meal you could afford, having a warm home, or simply the feeling of security you cultivated during your practice. Don't just list them mentally. Allow yourself to feel the warmth of gratitude for each one. Let the feeling expand in your heart. This simple practice trains your subconscious mind to focus on abundance and signals clearly to the universe that you are thankfully receptive to more. Even as you master these principles, there will be moments when doubt arises. A sudden, unexpected bill, a perceived setback, a delay in manifestation. These can trigger old patterns of fear and scarcity thinking. Doubt is a natural human experience, like clouds passing through the endless sky of your consciousness. The key is not to fight the doubt, which gives it energy, nor to be swept away by it, but to navigate it consciously, returning steadfastly to your chosen resonance. When doubt appears, the first step is awareness. Recognize it without judgment. There is doubt. Don't fuse with it. Observe it as a temporary mental or emotional weather pattern. Remember that the law of resonant echo responds to your dominant, underlying frequency, not necessarily to every fleeting thought or fear. A passing cloud doesn't change the nature of the sky. The practice here is to gently acknowledge the doubt, perhaps even thank it for trying to protect you in its own misguided way, and then consciously shift your focus back to your anchors, your sacred silence, your inner flame, your echo symbol, your feeling of gratitude, your trust in divine timing. It's like resetting your internal compass. You don't deny the storm, but you remember your true north and adjust your course accordingly. Resilience in this practice isn't about never feeling doubt. It's about how quickly and consistently you return to your center, maintaining the underlying harmony that the universe echoes. Let's revisit Ilara, the potter from Chapter 1. After her initial success, she enjoyed a period of prosperity. Then, a large, important order she was working on met with disaster. A flaw in the clay caused nearly half the pieces to crack during firing. Panic and doubt flooded back in. "See? It was just luck," the old voices whispered. "You can't sustain this. You're going to lose everything." She felt the familiar tightness of fear. But this time something was different. She had the tools. Instead of spiraling into despair, she stopped. She went to her quiet space, the place where she had first found her true resonance. She sat in sacred silence, acknowledging the fear and disappointment without letting them consume her. She reconnected with the feeling of creative flow, the quiet trust in her connection to her craft and the universe. She didn't have an immediate solution, but she returned to her center. As she sat calmly, observing the broken pieces, an idea sparked, not from panic, but from quiet clarity. She could use the shards, incorporating them into a new mosaic technique, creating something perhaps even more unique and beautiful. This required trust and letting go of the original plan. She presented the new concept, born from navigating her doubt, to the client. Intrigued by her resilience and ingenuity, the client loved the idea. The disaster became the catalyst for an even more successful and acclaimed product line. Ilara learned that doubt wasn't a sign of failure, but an invitation to return to her resonant center and find creative solutions from that space. Here is a tool for those moments of wavering. When doubt, fear, or anxiety about money arises strongly, take this immediate action. Stop what you are doing. Place a hand gently over your heart or hold your echo symbol if you use one. Take 3 slow, deep breaths. With each exhale, consciously release the intensity of the doubt. Then gently bring to mind the feeling associated with your inner flame or visualize your echo symbol. Reconnect with the core frequency you've been cultivating, perhaps peace, security, or trust in divine timing. You don't need to force the doubt away. Simply overlay it with the stronger, chosen frequency. Hold this connection for just 30 seconds to a minute. This simple practice acts as an immediate anchor, helping you interrupt the downward spiral of doubt and consciously realign with the resonant state you choose to amplify. Imagine that beneath the surface of everyday reality, with its apparent struggles and limitations, there flows a vast, powerful, silent river. This river is the ceaseless, abundant energy of Source, the stream of infinite potential, creativity, opportunity, and yes, financial wealth. It is always flowing, always available, regardless of whether the surface appears barren or turbulent. The law of resonant echo, in essence, is about learning to perceive and tap into this hidden current. Often we focus only on the surface, the visible job, the known income streams, the obvious challenges. We try to dig wells in dry ground, but when we cultivate sacred silence, align our frequency, and trust the process, we are essentially quieting the surface noise and attuning our senses to the subtle vibration of this silent river. We begin to feel its presence, its constant support, its inherent generosity. Manifestation, then, isn't about forcing something new into existence, but about aligning ourselves so that the wealth already flowing in this underlying river can naturally surface into our experience. Opportunities appear out of the blue, ideas flow effortlessly, resources align synchronistically, because we have tuned into the current that was always there, just beneath our conscious awareness. Knowing this river exists changes everything. It replaces frantic striving with quiet confidence and fear of lack with trust in the ever-present flow. Remember Reese, the urban gardener. After his initial success with the improved soil and watering system, his balcony garden flourished for a season. Then a new building project nearby threatened to cast his small space into shadow for most of the day. He initially felt despair, believing his abundant garden was doomed. The surface reality looked bleak, but Reese had learned to look deeper. He spent time in quiet contemplation on his balcony, not focusing on the impending shadow, but trying to connect with the feeling of life force, the energy that had made the garden thrive before. He visualized that silent river of life-giving energy flowing beneath his building, beneath the whole city. He affirmed his connection to it. In this state of quiet trust, an insight arose. He realized certain plants thrived in lower light conditions. Mushrooms, specific herbs, leafy greens he hadn't considered before. He also discovered innovative vertical gardening techniques using reflective materials to maximize the morning sun. Instead of seeing limitation, his connection to the underlying river of possibility revealed new avenues for abundance. His garden transformed again, becoming a different kind of success story, perfectly adapted to its changing environment, proving that the flow could be accessed even when surface conditions seemed unfavorable. Let's tune into this powerful undercurrent. Find a quiet place to sit or lie down comfortably. Close your eyes and take several deep, calming breaths. Bring your awareness to your feet and imagine roots extending down from them, deep into the earth. Now imagine that deep beneath the ground, beneath your home, beneath everything, flows a powerful, silent river of shimmering golden light or pure energy. This is the river of infinite abundance, supply, and potential. It flows effortlessly, ceaselessly. Feel its gentle hum, its powerful presence, even though you can't see it with your physical eyes. Imagine your roots tapping into this river, drawing up its nourishing, abundant energy. Feel this golden energy flowing up into your body, filling you with a sense of peace, security, and infinite support. Know that this river is always there, always flowing, always accessible through your quiet intention and feeling state. Spend a few minutes just being with this awareness, feeling nourished and supported by the silent river of wealth. We have journeyed far, from understanding the law of resonant echo to activating its power and navigating the path. The final stage isn't about doing more techniques, but about being. It's about becoming the echo. This is the point of integration where the principles we've explored cease to be external rules to follow and become your natural way of being in the world. You no longer need to consciously try to resonate with abundance. You simply are abundance. When you become the echo, your default state is one of quiet trust, inner peace, and an unshakable knowing of your connection to the universal flow. Manifestation, including financial wealth, happens naturally, fluidly, often without conscious effort, because your entire being is harmonized with the frequency of well-being. The work is no longer in the doing, but in the maintaining of this serene inner state. The external world continues to reflect this state, bringing experiences, opportunities, and resources that match your vibration. The true measure of success in mastering this law isn't just the amount of money in your bank account, but the depth of peace, freedom, and quiet joy you feel within. This inner state is the ultimate wealth, and paradoxically, it's the most powerful magnet for all external forms of abundance. Imagine an old Zen master living simply in a mountain temple. He doesn't strive for anything, yet he seems to have everything he needs. Food appears through donations, shelter is secure, knowledge flows through him effortlessly. He isn't using the law, he is the law in action. His inner state of profound peace, non-resistance, and connection to the silent river creates a resonant field that effortlessly draws sustenance and harmony. He embodies the echo of stillness and sufficiency. This is the potential endpoint of our journey, not necessarily retreating to a mountaintop, but integrating this profound inner peace and trust into the fabric of our daily lives wherever we are. When you live from this space, the desperate need for external validation or accumulation falls away, replaced by a deep sense of inherent wholeness. This final practice is about self-awareness and gentle course correction. Once a day, perhaps in the morning or evening, take just 1 minute for a quick internal check-in. Ask yourself gently, what frequency, what echo is my inner state predominantly creating right now? Are you resonating more with peace, trust, and abundance, or with anxiety, lack, and resistance? There's no judgment here, it's simply an awareness check. If you notice you've drifted into a lower frequency, gently use one of your tools, a breath of acceptance, connecting with your inner flame or echo symbol, a moment of gratitude, or sensing the silent river, to subtly shift back towards your desired state of being. This isn't about perfection, it's about consistent, gentle self-awareness and realignment. It's the practice of being the echo you wish to experience in the world. We have reached the end of our shared journey, but the true beginning of yours. We have explored the law of resonant echo, this arcane yet simple principle that the universe instantaneously mirrors your inner state. We've learned that true power lies not in the loud shout, but in the sacred silence, not in frantic striving, but in aligning with the vibrational frequency of abundance, not in resisting what is, but in practicing non-resistance and cultivating aligned belief. We discovered the gentle strength of the inner flame, the anchoring power of personal symbols, the amplifying magic of gratitude, and the profound wisdom of trusting divine timing. We've felt the constant support of the silent river beneath it. All. The core message echoes through every chapter. Your point of power is within. The wealth, the peace, the freedom you seek are not destinations to be reached through external struggle, but states of being to be cultivated and embodied now. The universe is not withholding. It is waiting, poised to reflect the beauty, the abundance, the wholeness that you allow yourself to become in your quietest depths. Continue to practice these simple, profound tools. Let the 5-minute sacred silence become your anchor. Nurture your inner flame with trust. Feel gratitude as often as possible. Gently check your resonance daily. Make these not chores, but acts of self-love and communion with the responsive universe. Remember, financial abundance is your birthright, a natural aspect of a universe that is inherently abundant. The law of resonant echo isn't something you need to force or manipulate. You only need to align with it, to allow its harmonious reflection into your life. Let go of the struggle. Embrace the stillness. Trust the echo. Listen closely now. In the quiet space between these words, can you feel it? The gentle hum of sufficiency, the quiet whisper of peace, the resonant echo of the wealth that is already yours, waiting patiently within your own heart for your recognition. Go now and be the echo of the beautiful abundance you wish to see in the world. It is already here. It is already yours. Simply receive.